Meeting and she will go ahead and explain to you her program and what she does.
Okay, so I'm Sarah. Have you guys ever been at a keynote speech before? Does anybody know what a keynote speech is? Okay, so a keynote speech is somebody who has experience in a certain aspect or a certain subject that they want to educate the public on. So they come in and they inform and they educate. And today, I will be doing that and as a peer support specialist. So I am newer to Cochise County, and I decided that I would bring my peer support certification here and start a nonprofit. And that nonprofit is called Odockety Peer Support. And we are a free, non-clinical service, completely hands-on for all of Cochise County. We started a branch, but that's just a little bit of what's going to be going on today. And then we also are going to have a Name That Tune game with you guys, and we have a fun gift for you to win. And everything inside this gift bag here is pertainable to self-care. So what I would give to a client if I were to start a routine building program with them is basically everything that's inside this bag with a couple extra goodies. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started. So, pardon me for following along on this paper. It's really hard for me to remember everything I want to say, so I have everything written down. So, my name is Sarah. I am a certified peer and recovery support specialist in Arizona. I am the founder of Odockety Peer Support Incorporated, as well as Desert Sky Human Services LLC. This is Sean. Sean and I met by pure chance, a chance that would end up being a beautiful partnership in one another. Coming from a scarily similar background and recognizing each other's recovery and efforts in healing, we grew an immediate bond. Sean dedicates any time he has between working on providing for his own beautiful children and our family at home. He's dealing with an injury he sustained building vehicles for the U.S. military as a civilian, leaving him with over 6 pieces of hardware in his spine. He volunteers his spine to Odockety Peer Support's mission of ending suicide. So he's literally my #1 volunteer. So, before any title or certification or organization name, I was a child that was growing up in chaos. I grew up surrounded by addiction, abuse, instability, and emotional hardship. At a very young age, I witnessed the effects of substance abuse through the adults around me. I learned early what survival looked like. I learned what silence looked like, and I learned what it felt like when people turned a blind eye. As a child, I was referred to Al-Anon groups. Does anybody know what Al-Anon is? Yep. I was in Al-Anon from 5th grade until my senior year of high school.
What is Al-Anon?
Al-Anon is a group
Alcoholics
for.
Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
It's actually not. It's what it is. Al-Anon is a support group for people who are affected by those who are around them that consume alcohol on a heavy level. And a lot of children are in that, and then a lot of spouses and partners, anyone close to somebody like that. So Al-Anon groups through my school district, because even the adults around me recognized that the environment I was growing up in was affecting me deeply. That support followed me into my teenage years, and although I didn't fully understand it then, those experiences planted a seed in me. While I was surrounded by examples of what I didn't want to become, I was also slowly learning what compassion looked like. One of the greatest turning points in my life came when a family who knew about my situation chose not to ignore it. They chose not to look away, but they chose to help. And that changed everything for me. For the first time, I understood the power of someone simply deciding that your life matters. That experience stayed with me. It shaped the way I saw people, it shaped the way I saw pain. And eventually, it shaped the mission I would dedicate to my life. As I grew older, life still brought challenges. I made mistakes. I experienced trauma. I survived domestic violence. I experienced incarceration. I grieved people I loved who lost their battle to addiction and to suicide. I became a mother helping children heal from the loss of their father. while still trying to heal parts of myself. And somewhere through all of that, I realized something important. Pain can't spread, or it can't teach, or it can teach. I decided I did not want my pain to become poison for other people. I wanted it to become purpose. Every hardship I survived became a lesson. Every mistake became accountability. Every trauma became understanding. Every loss became a reminder that people desperately need support, compassion, and connection. This is why I became a peer and recovery support specialist. Not because I read about hardship in a textbook, but because I lived through it. I know what emotional despair looks like behind closed doors. I know what it feels like to believe you are alone. I know what it feels like to carry shame, grief, fear, and hopelessness. And I also know healing is possible. That is why I founded these organizations to create 8 peer support programs focused on helping individuals reintegrate into society, build healthy routines, access community resources, overcome emotional hardship, and reduce the isolation that often feeds depression and suicide. These programs were built with empathy, compassion, integrity, and lived experience. They include support for daily routine building, substance recovery support, hygiene and self-management, companionship and wellness checks with hospital visits, home restoration, caregiver support, and community necessities, and depression intervention services for individuals facing severe emotional despair. Because sometimes support starts with something small, like helping someone clean their room. Sometimes healing begins with helping, not just cleaning your room, but sitting beside someone while they color. Sometimes it begins with a simple conversation while someone feels heard instead of judged. Peer support is powerful because it reminds people that they are not beneath us, they are beside us. Too many people today are silently struggling. Too many people are losing loved ones to suicide, addiction, helplessness, hopelessness, emotional isolation, and too many people feel unseen. I know personally exactly how that feels. That's why I refuse to let people feel invisible if I can help it. My mission is not perfection, my mission is compassion. My goal is to help individuals create self-sustainable reduction or elimination of emotional hardship during depression and reintegration into society with the goal in mind to end suicide. I want people to understand that your past does not disqualify you from being something meaningful. Your trauma does not erase your worth. Your mistakes do not define your future. Healing is possible, growth is possible, purpose is possible. I stand here today not as someone who had a perfect life, but as someone who chose not to stay broken by it. And now I dedicate my life to helping others believe that they can do the same. And tonight I ask you, please do not turn a blind eye to people who are struggling. Please choose to use compassion, connection, and community. Because one person deciding to care can truly save a life. I'd like to give you a little bit of an in-depth look into a snippet of the highlights of some things that I've mentioned that built my character of why I chose to become a peer recovery support specialist. When I mentioned that I was a child growing up in chaos, I just want to give you a small example of something that might look like for a day in the life of Sarah as a small child. So being a kid, I can remember always trying to help my mom, who is a single mom, clean and I would be scolded for trying to help. Growing up, I now know that that was a projection from her being neglectful. She'd rather keep the comfort of chaos than have a child notice that she's suffering. Me, a child with siblings, starving for satisfaction and love, I'd cook my mom breakfast in bed. Unfortunately, she'd be so high for days, I would not see her, and she would not eat that meal. I'd worry at 8 years old. So that's just a small look into the chaos. It definitely wasn't a fun time, but it definitely shaped all of the don'ts, I guess, and shaped what are the best do's for me, and what makes me feel like I'm giving the most compassion to somebody, as opposed to making them feel invisible for just a small gesture, even as small as a meal, a hug, a simple sticker, anything. And then so eventually that projection became full-on abuse, not just physically but mentally. She'd remove doors, wake us kids up in the middle of the night to help her find things that she misplaced while she was high. My school started noticing bruises and bad hygiene. I talked to the teachers a lot, and I confided in them about my mom. I was put into Al-Anon, which we were talking a little bit about. Al-Anon really helped me understand that my life's regular chaos was not what a regular day would be like for a neighbor girl or anybody else that was my age at school. It really helped me understand that I was a little bit different, and that it was okay. That was the biggest part, is that it was okay, and that I just had an understanding at the end of the day that I might not have had a support system when I went home from school. I might have had to eat as much as I could at school before I went home, so I had a meal, but I still had support. I knew I had a place to go. I knew I had people I could confide in when I went to school. So unfortunately, one day my biological father died of an OD. That was after I was living with my mom for X amount of years with just my mother. My father came to visit us on Easter. The night before Easter, he unfortunately passed away on a relapse. He had been sober for I'm not sure how long. He died in our home that Easter morning. And that was in 3rd grade. So fast forward to my sophomore year of high school. One morning, I went to go hang out with my friends, and my mom spent days awake. My biggest brother had just moved out of our home, and my mom had started harassing my younger brother. I grew up with 2 brothers, one younger, one older, in the home with me. She was calling him a lot of things and just making him feel bad about not having any friends around. They had moved away. She was making fun of the fact that our dad passed away. So he ran away. Not far, he ran across the street. He ran across the street to a neighbor he could confide in that kind of knew the situation of my mom. And he called to the friend's house that I was at to let me know what was going on. It eventually became dark, and I made it back to the house as soon as I could. When I got to my brother, he was across the street in the neighbor's house, and my mom showed up. She saw me arrive there. She was throwing beer bottles, rocks, and all kinds of things at the home. The police were called. They made us go back to her house, unfortunately. They treated it more as if they thought we were entitled children, treating our mom a certain way. So we had to go back home. That was the first time I saw a police officer cry because he did not want to send us home. There was nowhere else for us to go, so we went back home. We were abused all night. Fast forward to the morning. It's a school day now. My mom has us doing the dishes before school. She comes in the kitchen while we're washing the dishes, and she picks up a mason jar glass. She fills it to the top with beer, and she proceeds to call my brother random names. She then picked up that mason jar and threw it at his face. At that time, I turned around and I had had enough. All I remember is pinning her against the wall while grabbing the phone to call 911. I could not get a single word out of my mouth. I dropped that phone on the ground and they heard everything going on in the house. A helicopter arrived. Tons of officers arrived. The fire department arrived and EMTs. My mother was arrested. It was the first time I ever heard the use of 5150 be used. I did not know what that meant. It took a few years for me to get in contact with a computer, and I started Googling things from my memory, and I realized, oh, and my brother were sitting on the curb, just waiting for the authorities and stuff to get done doing what they were doing to interview us, and a Jeep drove by. Inside that Jeep was my little brother's best friend's family. They stopped and talked to us. They were very close to us. They felt compelled to help. I vividly remember that their mother walked up to the police car that my mom was sitting in and asked my mom, "Can I have your kids?" And her replying, "Yes, take these motherfuckers." Immediately creating compassion into my wiring system of my brain. That was the part I had touched on about the family that intervened. Me and my little brother got to be adopted for approximately 9 months. We got to stay with his family because my mother had said, yes, take these children right in front of the police and everybody. We were immediately given to the other family. We went to school, we signed paperwork, our grandparents became our second support guardian, so we had a new support system. My mom went to jail. She was in jail for about 9 months for child abuse. After that time she got out, we were immediately forced back into her hands. Immediately. We were given a state care worker to come in and sit with us and do counseling. My mom agreed to the first one. By the second time, she decided heroin was a lot funner, so she jumped the fence with no shoes on. We didn't see her for a long time. So me and my little brother took it upon ourselves to pack up our stuff and leave. Eventually that house got condemned. It was taken over by a lot of homeless people and drug addicts. Since all that stuff's gone on, my mom's now passed away. She only passed away about a year ago. It's now a new healing process to go through. From the abuse that I went through, the no contact that I gave myself for that healing period, and now the grieving of what do you do now? I can breathe a little bit. Am I sometimes gonna get a phone call? I think the biggest worry I had was getting that phone call or finding my mom overdosed, because it was just such a familiar thing to go through. Looking back now, I know that she could have just reached out for help, but that's so hard to do. And now that I know how hard that is to do, it is my entire mission to let people understand where I'm coming from, so that they can also too maybe think to themselves, I know somebody that needs your help, because they're not gonna speak up. So referring them to me is always the first and best step. We are non-clinical, we are not behavioral health technicians. We come in 100% hands-on and we deal symptomatically. There's a couple of people here today that have volunteered with me, just with specifically a woman going through isolation who was 100% depressed, biohazards around incontinence, and we needed to clean up, turn things around for her. That's just one tiny example of stepping in and making somebody feel seen and heard, because she did not ask for that help. Her landlord forced that help upon her and was going to make her be homeless. Why? Because she's depressed? That's not fair. Not fair at all. So today, I understand desperately what it means to need peer support. It's almost impossible to bear that burden alone, especially when you can't reach out for help. You feel like you are a burden. That's why specifically I have built 8 programs that are hands-on, and I want to help you guys understand a little bit more about the 8 programs, but I also want to do Name That Tune. So maybe we can do Name That Tune, and then I will explain to you guys my 8 programs, and I have a couple just little referral cards up here. If anybody wants to grab one, they just have a QR code on them in case you yourself or anybody that you know around you might need my help after we're done talking about the programs. If they might resonate with you, please feel free to grab one. We also have some messages of affirmation right here if you wanted to just write something small. So every time we have a client, we come in, we provide them with a small package. Some of the items in here are in that package, a journal, things to gather routine so you can kind of see what you're gonna do, not just think about it, put it on paper. We give everybody an affirmation card too. And what that could look like is simply saying you are loved on it. And that just goes into that packet and it just makes them smile, it makes them feel good. We also do coloring pages, but we didn't bring coloring pages today. We brought affirmation cards. So if you guys are feeling froggy, give us an affirmation. Stick it from the pink to the blue. There are pens here. A couple cards if you need one. And then, before we start the name that tune, does anybody have any questions for me or anything they want to share? Yeah.
I can identify with your situation, because I too am an adult child of an alcoholic, so I can identify with what you're saying. The one thing I have to ask is, you went through all that drama and trauma, yet the pathway you're in right now, you're almost inviting more.
Right.
So,
So what that looks like for me is that's a positive thing.
okay,
I now have the tools on how to guide you through that as opposed to judging you and
Right.
feeling your negativity from the situation that you're going through, if that makes any sense. I'm here to help guide and help you move over that.
so you're able to channel it and not have that past kind of overwhelm you.
Yes, so I guess maybe I should have mentioned, I also have a background in caregiving. So a lot of my clients I dealt with were on their deathbed. I was hand in hand with hospice a lot. So I have a really good sense of leave that at work and not take it home, if that makes any sense. It's very easy for me to be hands-on and work under pressure and get the job done than it is for me to kind of like lollygag around something and feel a certain type of way and not really know what to do. I know exactly what to do almost every single time. So I feel incredibly confident about that. So yeah, that's it. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, but it was incredibly brave for you to stand up there and tell your story.
Thank you. I felt really scared about it.
Thank you for your vulnerability.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have my own stuff and so it just, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. We'll play some songs so people can be happy.
Absolutely. Change it up, we'll give away a prize and then Sarah can go over the program. So take a seat. So what Sarah didn't say is I've watched her from the beginning of this, and this is a new nonprofit, right? This is started at the beginning of the year. She's had her background a lot longer than that, but she's come out of pocket for every single thing she's done. You know, there's been just a couple bucks here and there, not enough to really make it. I watch her try, watch her pour her heart into this, and I know we're new to the community, new to the county, new to the whole thing, but if anybody needs help or anybody can help, then please push it the way, you know, push it our way here, and Sarah, it'd be in good hands with Sarah, so we can definitely use it. And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna lighten it up, we're gonna give away the door prize here. We're gonna go, trying to figure out the way to do this, but we're gonna play some songs here. Basically, raise your hand, all right? We're gonna do name that tune. The first one with their hand up and the right guess gets a point. The first 1 to 3 correct guesses on the song gets the door prize, right? So we're gonna keep it. We'll keep a little paper here with the name. I obviously don't know a lot of names in here, but we'll jot them down as quick as we can. You gotta play. So again, we're gonna play the song. If you know what the song is, raise your hand, shout it out. And if you got it right, you get the point. First 1 to 3 gets the prize. We connect here. Make sure this thing isn't too loud.
No.
All right. It's too loud. We'll go. All right, here. All right, so you know the song, hand up, and if you get it right, you get the point. Here we go. Oh, Garth Brooks. What we got?
Garth Brooks.
What's the name of the song?
I got friends in low places.
We got it right over here. You know? So we got the artist and we got the song here. So we got the thing going over here. Your name again?
What's that?
Your name?
Mark.
Mark. All right, Mark.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, so we got Mark with a point. All right.
You knew what it was, you just didn't.
Yeah, he just did it. We got Mark with 1. All right, here we go.
Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want.
Nope.
Oh, man, that sounds so close.
Oh, I know what this is.
Joe Cocker, get by with a little help from my friend.
That's it. We got Mark with two. Mark, you're not giving anybody a shot. We have to shake it up.
I knew
here.
what that one was.
Yeah.
I don't know, my mind's blown, so I don't know
Let's
how I
go a little more of the
possibly
current one here. Let's go. Switch it up.
I'm not sure which one this is.
Nobody? All right, we'll move on.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
Stand by me.
That's it. Your name?
Earl.
Earl. All right, Earl. We got Earl with the point. We got Stand By Me. All right, here we go. Next song.
Hold on, are they just giving the title of the song?
Yeah, just the time.
Bob Marley,
Every little thing's gonna be all right.
yeah.
There you go. And your name?
There's
Earl?
Josh.
Josh. We got Josh with a point. All right, here we go. We got some action going here. Let's get it up.
oh,
Journey.
Journey.
Don't stop believing.
Oh, we got the hand up in the back. Go ahead.
Journey, don't stop believing.
That's it. We got 2 for Josh, 2 for Mark.
She said.
We gotta put that hand up. All
she
right.
didn't put her hand up.
There we go.
Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bed.
We got Mark with it. Mark, you got the prize, my friend.
Anybody seen Top Gun knows that one.
Yeah.
Thanks, pal. I don't know that, this could maybe be for somebody else.
There you go. Yeah, you can read it and do what you do.
Uh,
So this will actually just be really quick. I was trying to set my projector, but it's not being the brightest thing in the world. So I'll just quickly kind of go over this. So, we are O'Doherty Peer Support, and so that's a Irish name. I actually chose the name O'Doherty because it is my ancestral grandfather's name. My grandfather was incredibly important to me. I know not everybody in the world agrees with tattoos. He actually left me some money when I was younger and said, please remove your tattoos. Unfortunately, I got a grandfather tattoo. He was a Navy colonel in the Navy. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Navy, and so I got a Kenneth George Doherty tattoo across my chest here. So I decided to name my business after him because I think everybody should have a hug for my grandpa. So here we go, O'Doherty Peer Support. We are powered by Desert Sky AZ Human Services, which is not a free program, but we are peer support, more depth peer support, more one-on-one peer support. Also hosted by myself. So I became a peer support specialist in 2022 in Phoenix, Arizona, with an organization called STAR, Stand Alone in Recovery Together. So a little bit about me. Oops. Okay, so not to be redundant, my name is Sarah, again, the founder of O'Doherty Peer Support and Desert Sky Human Services. I love my slideshow. So, certified in 2022. I focus on compassionate, community-based peer support. I am currently furthering my education with Harvard Business Online. I am enrolled in system change and social entrepreneurship, as well as the crisis on opioids in America. Sometimes being human comes with so many impacting emotions, not always leaving a good feeling and often lasting for periods of time. While we all go through these, we don't all have the support needed to overcome these hurdles. As a peer support specialist, survivor of both physical and emotional trauma, I will attest support in a wide variety of forms are key to increasing quality of life. With programs tailored to targeting symptomatic depressional distress through self-sustainable quality of life tactics, our peer support makes the quality of life that feels unreachable or unbearable doable and self-maintained, providing dignity and self-reliance. Programs are beneficial to those integrating back into society as well. All clients will undergo an intake that declares what program they would benefit from and or be a good fit for them. So, we are non-clinical, hands-on support structure, real-life experience, and state-required training, helping individuals restore safe living environments, reducing isolation and emotional distress, supporting housing stability, providing compassionate peer support, and locating appropriate resources for individuals. So our first program is called Compassionate Connection. What that is that's one-on-one peer support and will checks. So a well check, what that could look like is, say you have a brother or a sister or somebody who may have red flag text you or called you and said something that made you feel insecure about their situation. You might notice that they're feeling depressed or they're acting out a certain way that is not relative to them normally and you're incredibly worried about them. If you don't want to call 911, you can call Dr. D Peer Support. We are 100% certified to come in and do a well check. What that would look like is me calling the non-emergency police line, me firsthand knocking on your loved one's door and asking them how they're doing today, letting them know that somebody cares about them and wanting me to check in on them. From that moment, I'll use my best expertise to decide whether or not the police need to be involved, and if they do, they'll be right behind me. At that time, whatever might be necessary, the protocol will be taken. So if they need crisis will intervene. If they don't and they just want one-on-one support, I'm there for that immediately. So that's what one-on-one support can look like. It can also look like having an older loved one in a caregiving facility. You not be able to come in and visit. Say you're gonna be on vacation for 3 months and say you don't want mom or dad or brother or sister to be alone, give me a call. I'll make sure that I'm there. I'll make sure that we're getting that interaction that needs to be interacted with, whether I'm reading to them, coloring with them, having a conversation with them, listening to them talk, feeding them, bringing them their favorite thing. Whatever it might be that makes you feel better about being their caregiver and being their loved one, I'll step in for you when you're not around. And then the second program would be building daily routines and self-management skills. So basically what that can look like is helping you build a daily routine with time management, setting goals, self-care. I'm not gonna come in and tell you how to live your life. I'm gonna come in and we're gonna kind of have a conversation about how you already are living your life. What makes you feel the most comfortable? What kind of things are you recognizing that you need to make a change in? Are you having a hard time remembering to eat? Are you having a hard time remembering to take your medication? Are you having a hard time remembering that you need to conversate and be out with other people? Do we just need regular support, remembering how to do things that are around the house that we don't think about? Because a lot of the time we'll get wrapped up in our own square, in our own bubble. We'll have our recliner chair, and what will be next to our recliner chair? Everything that we need in hand's reach. We won't need to go anywhere. We have everything that we need. All we have to do is get up and go potty and get a snack. That's all we have to do. So sometimes we forget about all those other things. I'm here for that. Good. So community support and essential assistance. So, oh my gosh. So what that looks like is our program focuses on connecting individuals to community resources, guidance towards free or low-cost support systems, assistance navigating local assistance programs, providing information about essential services, supporting the person in need. We have basket requests, so if anyone is in need of food, promoting community connection and stability. So if you know somebody, or you might be that person that is that you know you're gonna lose, for instance, your food stamps if you're taking advantage of state food stamps, and you know that you're not gonna have any. You know that at a certain time you're gonna need meals, and you need to reach out to me, and we can find you those different necessities out there that can help you. Like for instance, there is a great company that we are always working with called Community Neighbor Alliance. I'm sure everybody knows who they are. They're super awesome. They work with anybody who might be going through eviction. If you need a couple extra bucks to pay rent, let me know. We'll reach out to them. It's a very short paperwork that you fill out and different things like that, just to get you back on your feet if you're in a moment of need. So we'll help you get connected to those resources. There's a lot of different resources out there that a lot of people aren't aware of, or they think that they need to belong to a certain organization to be able to access those, and that's not true. Healing spaces, so that's hygienic home upkeep. Hygienic home upkeep, depressional room restoration. So what that would look like is kind of that example that I have given earlier about a couple of volunteers over here now that we were hands-on for a home hygiene reset. So we came in, we assessed the situation, we came immediately hands-on. We broke up into groups and we decided what was gonna be the exact time limit. We got everything out, we got everything back in a cleanly, timely manner. We set her up for success. A couple people were so sweet enough to bring her brand new things and really set this woman up for success. We were only there for a few hours, but it was enough to change her entire life. The smallest things matter, I'm telling you. Just cleaning a kitchen can change someone's life.
Maybe I'll have you come in and do the dishes.
Right. Change your whole life. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then I'm just gonna touch on the last two ones. So to me, my most vulnerable program would be caregiver support. So that would be working with anybody who is the caregiver. So if there's anybody in here who is the caregiver, you've got mom, dad, sister, brother, child at home, grown child, and you're the one who's bearing all the load, you guys need some support too. So that's what we're here for as well. How to help you remember about you at the end of the day. Because if you can't take care of you, you can't take care of other people. It's incredibly hard. A lot of your own self-load will project onto that person, and that's not what we ever want to do, and we'll always feel bad at the end of the day, no matter what. So if we can remember that you need a little pat on the back, I'm here for that. Okay? And then the last program that we have is substance continuance and substance recovery. So if somebody might have been experiencing substance abuse and they've found their way out of substance abuse and they want to continue to stay in that realm, I'm here for that. Help you stay on task and help you build those routines. Again, I'm not clinical, so I'm not able to help you with, to get off. I'm able to help you withstand. So if you're able to help yourself, I want to be there to help you too. So bylaws, I'm our director, I'm the whole board, I'm everybody. We are 501c, we unfortunately have not got the 3 yet, we're one paper away from the IRS application and it coming back to us. It's kind of pricey, we have a lot of things. Like Sean kind of mentioned, every time we have a client, being a new nonprofit, I reach 100% out of pocket for that. So that's coming, but we're just not here for that. So basically what that means is we're non-tax deductible. Everything else is 100% nonprofit. As soon as we have that free, then we can give you a receipt that says that thank you for giving us help with the community. But until then, we are just a regular nonprofit. And if for some reason anybody here today might find it fit or that our mission resonates with you and you felt like jumping on GoFundMe.com, we're on there, O'Doherty Peer Support, if anybody wanted to donate to our cause. We also are supported via Zelle and PayPal as well, if anybody felt like donating to our mission. And then also, I have a couple cards up here that have my phone number. I know it's a funky spelling, but it's easy to remember, o'dohertyinc@gmail.com. That's our email. You can always reach me on that. On the front of this card is a crisis QR code. So if you scan this with your phone, it'll immediately bring up a fully already composed email of an emergency status to me. Fill out the prompts, press send, it'll come directly to my phone immediately as a red flagged email. I will then immediately call you and or respond to your email, however you coordinated to me what would you like me to do. So, again, I'm Sarah. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for listening.